Today is January 7th, 2025. There's a rosy finch back there right now. There you go. Today is January 7th, 2025. I'm Matt Blaze. I'm trying to find 500 birds in 2025, and I just came upstairs to a pretty crazy surprise at the feeders. I'm flooded with rosy finches. There are hundreds of rosy finches at my feeders. In my last video, I said that rosy finches were my target birds for the month, but I wasn't expecting to wake up and find them outside my kitchen. I was actually getting ready to head out today to go find them, drive around Eagle County and look for them in some spots they've been reported. But now I can just sit back and watch them from my living room, which is pretty sweet. All three species of rosy finch were here. Black rosy finch I saw briefly. I got like one decent picture of it. Brown capped rosy finch, there are like maybe 4 or 5 of them here. And then there's probably 75 or so gray crowned rosy finches. Black rosy finch and gray crowned rosy finch were lifers for me, birds I'd never seen before. I had seen brown-capped rosy finches a few times before, mostly while hiking 14ers, 14,000-foot mountains in Colorado, where they live in the summer. But they were usually pretty far away, and these are definitely the best looks I'd ever gotten at rosy finches. I even found a few Hepburn's rosy finches, a subspecies of gray-crowned rosy finch that have an all-gray head instead of just the gray crown. Brown-capped rosy finches are almost exclusively found in Colorado. They extend a little bit north into Wyoming and a little bit south in New Mexico. And I think there have been a couple sightings in Utah as well, but it's mainly just Colorado. Black rosy finches also have a really limited range. I think they've been seen as far west as California. And then gray-crowned rosy finch are the most widely spread of the three. They're found pretty much throughout the Rockies and even the Sierra Nevadas. One of the highlights of 2025 so far has been the huge number of winter finches I've seen here in Colorado. Winter finches include several species of finch that are typically found in the northern or higher elevation parts of North America. When food is scarce, they sometimes venture farther south, including to places like Colorado. I've seen several species of winter finch so far this year, including red crossbill, pine siskin, evening grosbeak, pine grosbeak, and all 3 species of rosy finch. And I've also seen a lot of house finches, though they're not really considered a winter finch. I know there are some Cassin's finches in the area as well, and I'm hoping to see one soon to add another winter finch. I am trying to find 500 birds in 2025, which is going to be pretty challenging. I started birding about 5 years ago, and when COVID hit, it became the perfect way to get outside during the pandemic. It spiraled from there, and before I knew it, I was chasing birds all over the world. The total number of birds I've seen globally was 648, but now with black and gray-crowned rosy finch, I'm at 650. 2021 has been my biggest year so far with 451 birds. A lot of traveling that year definitely helped. Almost 200 of those were in Costa Rica alone. The craziest bird that year was definitely the Steller sea eagle that ended up in Dighton, Massachusetts on December 20th. I was living about an hour away at the time, so when I heard that the biggest eagle on the planet had somehow ended up 6,000 miles away from its normal range, I hopped in my car to try to find it. I caught up with it at Dighton Rock State Park, where hundreds of other birders were watching the Steller sea eagle from across the Taunton River. It was my first time ever using a scope, and I got some pictures of a blob that I promise is a Steller sea eagle. That was 4 years ago, and now I think I'm better at birding and I've upgraded most of my equipment, so this year I'm hoping 500 birds is a doable goal. Starting off the year pretty slow, which is the plan, here in Eagle County, Colorado. Bird species diversity is not that high. It's cold, it's high elevation, not that much food, so most birds steer clear of the Rocky Mountains in the winter. The birds that do stick around are probably birds that I'm not going to see many other places, so they're good to cross off the list early on. Birds like evening grosbeaks, Steller's jays, The rosy finches would definitely qualify. I know when I lived in Florida, I would sometimes get 70 or 80 birds in a day. That's not going to be happening here. I think up in Eagle County, 20 birds in a day would be pretty good. If I'm in Denver, the Front Range, a little bit more than that, maybe 40 or 50, but not going to be putting up tropical numbers. Doesn't feel very tropical up here right now. It's actually freezing, so I'm going to head inside. On January 10th, I drove to Eagle, Colorado, looking for some species I hadn't picked up yet for the year. First, I found this brown creeper near the road, and then a flock of bush tits, birds 37 and 38 of 2025. My 39th bird for the year was hard to miss. I found this noisy flock of pinion jays in the juniper bushes on the side of a road in Gypsum, Colorado. As I kept driving around the town of Eagle, I found a few more common Colorado birds that I hadn't seen in 2025 yet. I finished the week with 44 birds for the year. Not bad considering all the cold weather. Next week I'll be heading to some other parts of Colorado to find some more birds on the way to 500 in 2025.